The Strv-74 is a Swedish Tier 6 medium tank. In the early 1950s, the Centurion medium tank entered the service in Swedish Army, yet a lighter and more maneuverable vehicle was required. It was decided to modernize the old Strv M/42 vehicle by equipping them with the new turret and armament. The tank received a new name, Strv-74. A total of 225 vehicles were manufactured from 1957 through 1960. The Swedish Army continued to use this vehicle until the end of 1984. Before we get into some gameplay, let's just see the pros and cons of this vehicle. This tank has excellent accuracy and aim time on the top gun, and the gun depression is superb with -15 degrees, and the shell velocity is among the best in Tier 6. The dispersion of the move and the turret rotation is best on the mediums Tier 6. The top gun carries below average ammo count, and the DPM is below average for Tier 6 mediums. The mobility is overall good, with decent top speed, traverse speed and turret reverse speed. The overall armor on the tank is negligible, and the turret can't even bounce any shots from lower tier tanks. In World of Tanks, the Strv-74 leads to the Leo, but let's just see what it can do in some gameplay. Hello guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks Ace Tanker series, and as you can see, today we'll be driving a new tank. So it's a Swedish Tier 6 medium tank, the Strv-74, and driving the Strv-4z is 8ur4zCRO, and we are going to see a great game in this replay. So yeah, stick to the end. You're going to see what you can do with this tank, and you're going to see how 8ur4zCRO deals with the situation at the end. As you can see, we are playing on the Winterberg, so I believe it's called Winterberg or something like that. Doesn't even really matter. The map is almost the same. There is only a couple of bushes missing on the top side, and yeah, this is what you are supposed to do with your medium tanks when you are playing on this map. So usually you should take the position on the F9 and try and defend the small village on the 0 and 9 line. Well, not allow the enemies to take the village, because if you lose this side you are going to get flanked in the city, and that's always a bad idea if you are trying to win the game. So yeah, as you can see, 8ur4zCRO is in a good position here to defend the top side, but really he cannot do much here because he is almost alone. So there is a couple of medium tanks, one light tank and a tank destroyer that is sniping from the back. But it looks like that the enemies are not really pushing towards this position, and well, yeah, you can see that he is playing in a platoon with Imra. I forgot to say that. And Imra was able to kill one of the tanks that was spotted here on the middle. So good thing is that if you are playing in a platoon, if one of your platoon mates goes into the position on the F2, F3, so you can watch the middle street and shoot on the tanks that are camping on the enemy side of the small village. That's always good if you have the opportunity to do that. If not, really you should stick together and try and clean this side. So you can see that somebody is providing good vision. Was it the A43 or was 8ur4zCRO just spotting for himself? I don't know here, but it allowed him to put a shot into the artillery, and now it looks like that the A43 is spotting on the Dicker Max. So as you can see, the gun handling is pretty decent on the Strv-74, and it is one of the best on the Tier 6 medium tanks. So yeah, you can expect to see that if you're trying to grind this line or you're thinking about taking this tank, because you're going to see that the handling is pretty good. So 8ur4zCRO has a decent crew. He has 6th sense, I believe. He has more than just 6th sense on this tank, and with the good crew you can see that the tank is behaving pretty decent. So top speed not that great, but it allows him to get into a position to put a couple of shots into the enemy tanks. Now auto-aiming here on the Tier 5 tank destroyer. Unfortunately, the two of these shells didn't go to the position they should, but he is now in a good position to take shots on the tank destroyer and finish him off. The reload not that great, but it's pretty decent and you are still able to do some damage here. Now you can see that they cleaned out this side, and this is what happens when the enemies don't really have anything in the village, so they get outflanked from this position. Now what 8ur4zCRO is doing here is he's pushing back. he's deciding not to go and flank on the enemy side, because you can see that the enemy heavy tanks are just plowing through the city. They overran the defenders in the city and they are going towards the friendly base. So what 8ur4zCRO is trying to do here is getting himself into a good position and maybe try and snipe some of the shots on the enemies that are advancing. He could have taken the more direct route, so he could have gone through the 7th line and go towards the friendly cap, but I believe that he wanted to just stop in this position and try and find some of the shots on the tanks that are in the middle. Now he spotted this artillery. That was a shot that probably went into the artillery. The second one also goes into the artillery. How do you know? Well, with the recent changes you are going to see if your shells are disappearing in the tanks or they're going to just pass through and hit the ground, and you're going to see a splash of dirt coming out of the ground. So this is something that can help you if you don't know about it. This is something that can help you if you are not sure if you hit the enemy tank. Now puts one into the tog, but unfortunately the tog just misses through and goes towards the T-34-85. Now they're in a trouble here, I have to say, because at one moment I believe that they were leading, and now at this point they are actually losing the game. There is only 2 of them versus 5 of the enemies, and you can see that the ARL is advancing towards the T-34-85. We don't know how much HP does that T-34-85 have, but the immediate threat to the 8ur4zCRO and his team is the capper, so somebody is in the cap, and actually there are 2 tanks in the camp, so he needs to hurry. When you're defending cap on this side, the best way for you to approach the cap is to go through the bushes on the K6, and we are just about to see this with 8ur4zCRO advancing. Now, why go there? Because you have a lot of bushes and you are close enough to the cap so you can spot anything. You can spot everything that's in the cap and not to get spotted back. So one of the cappers left the cap. This was a good thing. That was actually lucky, because this capper that left the cap now allowed 8ur4zCRO to go back and, well, defend from this position. This is what I was talking about. There is a lot of bushes here. He spotted the Churchill 7 and the Churchill didn't spot him on the approach, so that was a pretty nice move by 8ur4zCRO. Now he is trying to find a spot on the OI that was advancing towards the small village, but as you can see the OI is not pushing towards the small village no more, so yeah, he is in a, I don't know what to say, this is a bad situation for him, but he doesn't know where the enemy tanks are, and he really needs to get some vision onto them if he wants to do something, if he wants to win. Now, taking a look at the cap, and there is the OI. So pulls back behind some bushes, puts one into the OI, he didn't get spotted here. Now loading APCR. APCR have slightly more penetration and they go through the OI's cupola, so that was a good thing. Fortunately the OI missed here, and we can see that the T-34 is shooting from the side now, still putting shot after shot into the OI. He can do this because the OI is reloading pretty long. The RLL tries to flank him, goes out, shoots the RLL left on 150 HP. He has the T-34 also shooting him from the side. He needs to move, he needs to get out of this position because the OI is right behind him. The TOG is advancing, the TOG is, I believe, on more than half of HP, and the Type T-34 is shooting him in the back, so he does the sensible thing here. He got some distance between him and the OI, got some distance between him and the other tanks, and he is going to use the superior view range on this tank to try and outspot the OI and outspot the other tanks and finish them off. Now there's the OI. Once again he pulls back into behind the bush, so 50 meters behind the bush, so he can shoot. But unfortunately the OI was spotted and he got back just in time not to get shot by 8ur4zCRO. But still, this is a good position to take if you are fighting against tanks that are with low vision, so he is able to spot the heavy tank, and the heavy tank really cannot spot him from all of those bushes that are around here. Now, 3 tanks, he can deal with them, but he has to find them one by one. He really doesn't want to get in and fight against the enemies all together. So when you are fighting in these kind of situations, he was actually in the contest for the Kolobanov's medal if you didn't notice. When you are fighting in these kind of situations, you have to really try and isolate the targets, finish them off one by one. And well, I believe that the most important thing in these kinds of games is the vision. You have to know where the enemy targets are, and if you can outspot them, if you can find them when they are, just like here, when the OI is trying to cross, puts one shot into the OI, pulls back, the OI cannot really spot him, puts another shot into the side of the OI, finishes him off, and now he's on 5 kills, and there is 2 tanks that are left in the game that he needs to kill either to have the victory in this game. And well, both of them are in the cap. How do you know that? Because the cap is just jumps to the, I believe it's 50%, and well, you can see that there are 2 tanks capping. So yeah, he needs to approach towards the cap, but this is the problem when you have multiple tanks capping. He cannot really go to that position that we were talking about on K6, so he needs to take an alternate route here. A good thing that he is in the Strv, because the Mega 4 seconds is he going to make it. He needs one shot here, 1 second before it ends, and he finds the reset. I believe this one went into the Type T34, but the Type just bounced this one. Another reset on the Type 2, he needs to reset the Type T34, finds a shot on the Type T34, resets him, and now he is pretty safe here. Actually, he bounced the shot from the Type 2. This is something that really doesn't happen in the Swedish medium tanks. Not so much armor on the Swedish medium tanks now. The good thing here is that he has all of the gun depression that he needs. Putting shot after shot into the Tog. Tog really cannot hit him here, which is unfortunate for the Tog, because he should have probably advanced and try and use the HP to close the distance and then put one shot and finish Strv. The last shot finishes off the Tog. That's a GG, and let's take a look at the post-game stats. We saw a great game here by 8ur4zCRO. He got a couple of medals like Defender, High Caliber, Top Gun, a Kolobanov's medal for standing alone 1 vs 5, and of course the Master Badge Ace Tanker. On the team score sheet we can see that he finished first with over 1390 experience, 7 kills and 3009 damage. On the detailed report you can see that he fired 32 shots, of which 26 hit the target and 24 penetrated, and with the premium account he was able to score 6000 credits. Now, as always, the post-game analysis of the replay. Now, the most important thing that you have to take from this replay is the positioning. So 8ur4zCRO had excellent positioning throughout the game. He was able to spot for himself on the enemy tanks, he was able to clean one side, and after that he was able to go back and from a great position near the cap to reset, and after that to get some distance away from the enemy tanks, find a good angle to kill the tanks and finish them off one by one. He was pressured by cap 2 times and he was able to calmly go back and reset the cap every time. It was a great composure at the end, and he was able to finish off this game 1 vs 5 and get the Kolobanov's medal. As always guys, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't like the video, you can leave a dislike. Leave a comment what you think about this replay and what you think about the Strv-74. Also, if you don't know what to watch next, you can watch the previous video with the TVP T5051. It is a platoon replay and you are going to see a lot of kills and a lot of damage with 2 autoloaders. As always, at the end, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you can do it now. I hope you guys like this one and I'll see you in the next one.